Hello my dear students, today once again I am here in front of you with a new topic of English grammar, and our today's topic is voice. Today's topic is voice. In voice we will discuss how many types of voice are there and how to change a sentence of active voice to passive voice. What is voice? What is active voice? What is passive voice? These have already been discussed earlier. Then also I am going to tell you what is active voice and what is passive voice. Active voice is the voice or active voice. A sentence is called active voice, sentence of active voice, when the subject will act as subject. And passive voice is the voice or a sentence is called passive voice when the subject of the sentence will be acted upon. Very easily if we say, when the subject will act as subject, it will be active voice, and when the subject will as object, it will be passive voice. So we know that two types of voice are there. One is active, another one is passive. So here in this class we will discuss how to change active voice to passive voice, or how to change passive voice to active voice. So let's start. To change a sentence from active to passive, we are to know the tense of the sentence. According to the tense of the sentence, we are to change the voice of the sentence. So first of all, we know that 12 tenses are there: 4 present, 4 past and 4 future. Altogether 12 tenses are there, but we are to change voice of only 9 tenses: present indefinite, present continuous, present perfect, past indefinite, past continuous, past perfect, then future indefinite, future continuous, future perfect. Present perfect continuous, we cannot change the voice. Past perfect continuous also we cannot change the voice, and future perfect continuous also we cannot change the voice. Presently you may find this in various online channels, YouTube channels. There these sentences of present perfect continuous, sentence of past perfect continuous and sentence of future perfect continuous are being changed from active to passive. This is very rare. I also will show you how to change, but these are not important or these are not necessary for us. We will discuss the voice change of all 9 tenses today. So first tense is what? Present indefinite tense. We know the formation. The formation of present indefinite is what? Subject plus verb 1 plus object or something else, complement or something else. So what to do? When we change the voice, very clearly you understand this one, we know 3 things. If we do not get these 3 things, we cannot change the voice. First thing is what? Subject. Second thing is what? Verb. And third thing is what? Object. If we do not get these 3 things in a sentence, we cannot change the voice. Except in case of imperative sentence, there without subject and without object also we can change voice. Leave the matter of imperative sentence, when it will come I will tell you how to do. In rest other cases, if we do not get any of these 3, subject or verb or object, we cannot change the voice. So for that, we must know what is subject, what is verb and what is object. I hope this is known to you. Then also, very simply, very shortly, I am going to tell you what is subject, what is verb and what is object. Subject is the thing about whom we say something in a sentence. This is subject. Verb, the word, action word in the sentence is what? Verb. And object, the action of the subject falls on which thing? This is object. The action of the subject falls on which thing, this thing will be the object. So first of all, to change a voice, we have to identify these three things. One more thing very clearly you have to understand, we are not to do anything extra with other words. If we get subject, verb and object, we have to deal with these three only. Some other words will be there in the sentence, at the end of the sentence, at the beginning or in the middle of the sentence. We are not to do anything with these other words. We are to deal with the three things only: subject, verb and object. So I hope it is clear. Next, we are to change voice of a sentence of present indefinite tense. How to do? First, you listen very carefully, and it is very important for you also. If you think that you want to note it down, I will tell you very slowly. First thing, present indefinite tense, how to change voice. First thing is, we have to bring object in place of subject. We have to bring object in place of subject. Second thing, we have to use am or is or are according to the new subject. Am or is or are, we understand. If it is first person singular number, then am. If it is third person singular number, then is. And with rest others, we have to use are. Then we have to use third form of the verb. Then we have to use what? Third form of the verb. Verb will be given in first form in present indefinite tense. We have to use the third form of the verb. Then fourth thing, we have to use preposition. Mostly we use what? By, except by some other prepositions are there where to use. I will give you a list there, you can understand with which verb, which preposition should be used, but mostly we have to use what? By preposition. Then after using by, what to do? We have to bring the subject in place of object. This is the fifth thing. These five things we have to do. And one more thing, very clearly you understand this one, that while changing subject to object or object to subject, we have to change some words. If we get I, it will be me. If we get we, it will be us. If we get he, it will be him. If we get she, it will be her. If we get they, it will be them. And rest others will remain same. Only these words will be changed: I, me, we, us, he, him, she, her, they, them, and rest others will remain same. So I hope it is clear. Three things. First of all, we have to identify subject, verb and object. Finished. We have to deal with these three things only. Rest others will remain same as it is in the sentence. How they are, we have to keep them as it is in their own places. No problem. We are not to change the places of these words also. And then while changing subject to object or object to subject, we have to change these words. If it is I, then me. If it is me, then I. If it is we, then us. If it is us, then we. If it is he, then him. If it is him, then he. If it is she, then her. If it is her, then she. If it is they, then them. If it is them, then they. And except these words, if any other words are there, they will remain same. So let's practice one. He plays football daily. This is a sentence of present indefinite tense. How have we understood? Play is in present form, and we know that s or es is used only in present indefinite tense. So here we are telling about he. This is the subject, this is the action word, this is verb, and action of the subject is falling on what? Football. This is the object. So we got subject, verb and object, and daily is extra. We are not to do anything, it will remain same as it is in the sentence. So first rule, what I said, what to do, we have to bring object in place of subject. So here it is not I, we, he, she, they. So it will not change. As it is, we have to bring it at the beginning. Football. And secondly, what I said, according to a new subject, now football is our subject. According to a new subject, we have to use what? Am or is or are. So this is third person singular number. It is not footballs. So it is third person singular number. So with third person singular number, what we use? Is. Football is. Then third rule, what I said, we have to use the third form of the verb. So here the verb is what? Play. Third form of the verb play is what? Played. Then what I said, after using third form of the verb, we have to use preposition. Mostly by. Here also in this sentence we have to use by. Then we have to bring subject in place of object. Subject is what? He. I told you, if it is he, then we have to make it him. Football is played by him. And the remaining part we have to keep as it is. Daily is there, we have to keep it daily. We are not to change anything. So football is played by him daily. This is the passive voice of this sentence. Very simple. I hope you have understood. One more example from present indefinite we'll try. If you do not get object in the sentence, you cannot change the voice. Be careful about that. Sometimes questions will be there in such a way that subject is there, verb is there, but there is no object, and you will be asked to change the voice. What to do? You have to tell that we cannot change the voice of this sentence because there is no object in this sentence. So, example number 2. Ram hates Shyam. So, this is a sentence of present indefinite. How have you understood? Because S is there with the verb, and we know that this is used, S or ES is used only in present indefinite tense. So, present indefinite tense rule is known to you. I told you already what to do. We have to bring object in place of subject. So, see which one is the object. So, Ram is the subject because we are telling about Ram in this sentence. Ram is the subject, and he hates. Hate is the action word. So, this is verb, and on whom his hating is falling? On Shyam. So, Shyam is the object. So, first rule is what? We have to bring object in place of subject. Let's bring Shyam. Then what to do? Present indefinite tense, what to do? You have to use am or is or are after the subject, new subject. So, Shyam is third person singular number. We have to use what? Is. Shyam is. And third form of the verb, hate is what? Hated. Shyam is hated. Then preposition by. Then subject Ram. It is not I, we, he, she, they. So, it will not change. It will remain same. Shyam is hated by Ram. This is the rule of changing voice of present indefinite tense. I hope you have understood. Now, let us proceed to the present continuous tense. How to change voice of present continuous tense? Very simple. These 5 things are there. One thing extra, only 6 things we have to do in this sentence. If we get a sentence of present continuous tense, how will you identify this sentence is present continuous? Because there will get am or is or are and ing with the verb. Then we can understand the sentence is of present continuous tense. Okay. How to change voice of present continuous tense? We have to bring object in place of subject. Then according to a new subject, we have to use am or is or are. Then after using am or is or are, we have to use one extra word being for continuous tense. What to do? What to use? Being, B-E-I-N-G. After using am or is or are, we have to use what? Being, B-E-I-N-G, being. Then third form of the verb, then preposition, then subject will go in place of object. Once more I am telling, object will come in place of subject. Then according to the new subject, we have to use am or is or are, then being, then third form of the verb, then preposition, then subject will go in place of object. Let's try. They are eating rice now. They are eating rice now. This is a sentence of present continuous tense. How have we understood? Because are is there and verb ing is there with the verb. This is present continuous tense. So, here in this sentence you have to find out the subject, verb and object. We are telling about they. So, this is the subject, this is the verb because this is the action word verb, and on whom the action of the subject is falling? On rice. So, this is the object. So, now is extra thing. We are not to do anything with now. We have to change voice of this part only. So, first rule tells us what to do. We have to bring object in place of subject. Here object is what? Rice. We have to write rice. Then according to a new subject, we have to use am or is or are. So, rice is third person singular number. We will use what? Is. Rice is. Then continuous tense. That's why what to use? Being. B-E-I-N-G, being. It is because of ing. We have to use what? Being. Then third form of the verb, it is what? Eaten. Then preposition by. Then subject is they, it will go in place of object. What it will be? They will be changed into them. Rice is being eaten by them now. Finished. So simple it is. One more example we can try. She is helping her mother. She is helping her mother. This is a sentence of present continuous tense. How have we understood? Is there, verb ing, present continuous tense. We have to change the voice of this sentence. So for changing the voice, we have to find out three things: subject, verb and object. We got subject because we are telling about she in the sentence. So she is the subject, is helping is the verb because this is the action word, and on whom the action is falling, not only the mother, it will be her mother. Her mother is the object. Okay. So we got subject, verb and object. Now we have to follow the rules of changing voice. First, what to do? We have to bring object in place of subject. So what is the object? Her mother. Her mother is third person singular number. Her mother is not I, not we, not you. So it is third person, and mother's not. It is her mother singular number. So we have to use what? Is. Her mother is. Continuous tense. That's why what to use? Being. Her mother is being. Then third form of the verb help is what? Helped. Her mother is being helped. Then preposition by. Her mother is being helped by. Then subject will go in place of subject. It is object. It is she. So she will become what? Her. Her mother is being helped by her. Finished. So simple. If we follow the rules, what I said, then it is nothing. Very easily we can do. Next tense is what? Present perfect tense. Present perfect tense. How have we understood a sentence as present perfect tense? We will get have or has in the sentence and third form of the verb. Have or has and third form of the verb if we get in a sentence, then we have to understand this is what? Present perfect tense. If we get a sentence of present perfect tense, how to change the voice of this sentence? We have to bring object in place of subject. Then according to the new subject, we have to use have or has, then been. For perfect tense, we have to use what? Been. B-E-E-N, been. In continuous tense, we used what? Being, B-E-I-N-G. And in perfect tense, we have to use what? Been, B-E-E-N, been. Then third form of the verb. Here, no need to think about the third form of the verb because it will be there in the question. Third form of the verb, then preposition, then subject will go in place of object. Once more I am telling. Object will come in place of subject. Then according to the new subject, we have to use have or has. Then for perfect tense, we have to use been, B-E-E-N, been. Then third form of the verb, then preposition, then subject will go in place of object. These rules we have to follow. If we can follow these, so it is nothing but so simple. See, I have completed my homework. This is a sentence of present perfect tense. How have we understood this is a sentence of present perfect tense? Because we got have and third form of the verb. So this is what? A sentence of present perfect tense. Now we have to change the voice. For that, what to do? We have to find out three things. Subject, we are telling about I, that's why this is the subject, and complete is the verb, action word complete, and here the verb will be have completed. This is verb, and on whom the action of subject is falling? On my homework. So this is what? Object. So we found out subject, verb and object. Now we have to change the voice following the rules. First of all, what to do? We have to bring object in place of subject. So which one is the object? My homework. My homework. Then we have to use what? Have or has. This is my homework is third person singular number, that's why you have to use what? Has. Then what I said, we have to use been because of present perfect tense. So my homework has been. Then third form of the verb, it is there in the sentence already, completed. Then preposition by, then I will become what? Me. Subject came in place of object and it was I, that's why we have changed this one into me. So my homework has been completed by me. It was have because of I, and it is now has because of my homework. Been came because we are changing a sentence from active to passive of present perfect tense, that's why we have to use what? Been. One more example we can try. They have beaten me. They have beaten me. So this is a sentence of present perfect tense. How have we understood? Have is there, third form of the verb is there. That's why you have understood this is a sentence of present perfect tense. Now we have to change the voice. We have to find out subject, verb and object. Here subject is they. We are telling about they. Verb is what? Have beaten. This is the action word. And on whom the action of the subject is falling? On me. This is the object. So now first of all what to do? We have to bring object in place of subject. What is the object? Me. I told you if it is me then it will be what? I in place of subject. So I. Then what to use? After subject, what to use? Have or has. So with I we cannot use has, we have to use what? Have. Has is used only with third person singular number and I is first person singular number, we cannot use has. I have. Then according to the rule what to do? We have to use been. I have been. Then third form of the verb beaten. I have been beaten. Then preposition by. Then subject will go in place of object. Subject is they. When will change its place, it will be them. I have been beaten by them. This is the answer of the sentence, they have beaten me. I have been beaten by them. So these are the rules. Following them we can change the voice of present perfect tense. Next we are proceeding towards past indefinite tense. As I said, we cannot change the voice of present perfect continuous tense. That's why we are going to past indefinite tense. We know the formation of past indefinite tense. What is the formation of past indefinite tense? How will we understand that a sentence is of past indefinite tense? We will get the second form of the verb in the sentence. If we get the second form of the verb in a sentence, then we have to understand this is a sentence of past indefinite tense. So the time when we have understood this is a sentence of past indefinite tense, then what to do? We have to find out three things: subject, verb and object. After finding out subject, verb and object, then we have to follow the rules. What to do? First of all, we have to bring object in place of subject. Then according to the new subject we have to use was or were. How to use was or were? Here there is no person. We cannot differentiate was or were on the basis of the person. If it is singular then was, if it is plural then were. After writing new subject we have to use was or were. That means if the new subject is singular then was, if the new subject is plural then were. After writing was or were we have to use the third form of the verb, then preposition, then subject will go in place of object. Finished. These are the things. If we get anything extra in the sentence, it will remain same. We are not to do anything with that, because I said earlier we have to deal with the three things only: subject, verb and objects. Let's try. Ravi did the work yesterday. Ravi did the work yesterday. This is a sentence of past indefinite. How have we understood? Because second form of the verb do is given here. Second form of the verb do is what? Did. So from that only we can understand this is a sentence of past indefinite. Now we have recognized the sentence as the sentence of past indefinite. Now we have to find out three things: subject, verb and object. So verb simply we got, this is verb, second form of the verb. Then about whom we are saying about Ravi, so this is the subject, and on whom Ravi's action is falling, the work, this is the object. So three things we got. Extra thing it is there, we are not to deal with anything with this, it will remain same. Now we have already found out three things: subject, verb and object. We have to follow the rules now. First rule says we have to bring object in place of subject. So object was what? The work. We are bringing here the work. Then I said what? We have to write was or were. If the new subject is singular then was, if the new subject is plural then were. So here the work it is singular, we have to use what? Was. The work was. Then third form of the verb do is what? Second form is did, third form is what? Done. The work was done. Then the preposition by. Then subject will become object. Subject is Ravi, it will not change, it will remain same as it is. The work was done by Ravi. Finished. What we did? We brought object in place of subject, then according to the new subject we wrote was or were, then third form of the verb, then preposition, then subject we wrote in place of object. I hope it is clear. One more example we will try. The engineer built this bridge. This is a sentence of past indefinite. How have we understood? This is because this is the second form of the verb. So we have understood this is past indefinite tense. Now we have to find out three things: subject, verb and object. Verb we got already, so this is the subject because we are telling about the engineer. This is the subject, and on whom the work of the subject is falling, the bridge. So this is the object. The bridge, not this bridge. So this bridge whole is the object. So now we have found out the three things: subject, verb and object. And the next thing is what? We have to bring object in place of subject. So the object is what? This bridge. As it is past indefinite tense, that's why you have to use was or were. Bridge is singular number, that's why it will be was. This bridge was. Then the third form of the verb, build. It is the second form of the verb, build. So third form is what? Build, built, built. Third form is once again the same thing. This bridge was built, then preposition by, then subject will come in place of object. It will not change because it is not I, we, he or she or they. So it will remain same, the engineer. The bridge was built by the engineer. I hope it is clear. Next is what? Past continuous tense. Past continuous tense, how will we identify a sentence as a sentence of past continuous? Will get was or were in the sentence and ing with the verb. If we get was or were in the sentence and ing with the verb, then we have to understand this is a sentence of past continuous tense. If we get a sentence of past continuous tense, then how to change the voice? It is like the changing of present continuous tense. Just in place of am, is, are, we have to use was or were. Once again I am telling you, we have to bring object in place of subject. Then according to a new subject we have to use was or were. Then we have to use being. Then we have to use third form of the verb, then preposition, then subject will go in place of object. Once more listen. Object will come in place of subject, then according to the new subject we have to use was or were. If it is singular then was, if it is plural then were. Then being, B-E-I-N-G, being continuous tense, that's why being. Then third form of the verb, then preposition, then subject will go in place of object. Let's try. We were making dolls. We were making dolls. This is a sentence of past continuous. How have we understood? Because where is there and ing with the verb is there. So we have understood this is a sentence of past continuous. Now next thing is what? We have to find out subject, verb and object. We are telling about we. So this is the subject. Action word is what? Make. So here the verb is were making, and on whom the work or the action of the subject is falling, dolls. This is the object. We got the three things. So now what to do? We have to bring object in place of subjects, dolls. According to a new subject we have to use was or were. If it is singular then was, if it is plural then were. So dolls, it is plural, it is not doll, it is dolls plural. That's why what to use? Were. Dolls were. Then rule says us to use what? Being. As it is continuous tense, that's why you have to use what? Being. Dolls were being. Then third form of the verb make is what? Make, made, made. Dolls were being made. Then preposition by. Then subject will come in place of object. Subject is we. It will be what? Us. Dolls were being made by us. So simple. So easily we can do if we follow the rules, if we know the rules. I hope you have noted the rules down in your copy, and if you have noted it down, you practice it again and again, it will come. Then next time when you will try to practice, you are not to look at the copy. It will not naturally, it will come to your mind. If we practice twice or thrice, it will come to your mind naturally. One more sentence we can practice. She was watching TV last night. She was watching TV last night. So this is a sentence of past continuous tense. How have we understood? Was is there, verb ing is there, so we have understood it is a sentence of past continuous tense. Now we have to find out three things: subject, verb and object. Or who is the, about whom we are saying? We are saying about she. This is the subject. Action was it? Action word is what? Watch. So here the verb is what? Watch. Was watching. Verb. On whom the action of the subject is falling? TV. So this is the object, and this is the extra thing. We are not to do anything with this. We have to deal with these three things only: subject, verb and object. And the word last night, it will remain same as it is. So what to do? We have to bring object in place of subject first. Object is what? TV. It is third person singular number, that's why you have to use was. TV was. As it is continuous tense, that's why you have to use being. TV was being. Then third form of the verb watch is what? Watched. W-A-T-C-H-E-D. TV was being watched. Then preposition by. Then subject will go in place of object. Subject is she. It will become what? Her. TV was being watched by her last night. Finished. So simple. If we follow the rules, it is nothing. It is nothing. Then we have to proceed towards the next sentence. Next sentence or next tense. Next tense is what? Past perfect tense. Past perfect tense. How to identify a sentence as past perfect tense? If we get head, HAD head, and third form of the verb, then we have to identify the sentence as past perfect tense. If we get a sentence of past perfect tense, then what to do? To change voice, we have to bring object in place of subject, then head. Here nothing to do, head is there, we have to write head. Extra word, only one thing we have to do, we have to use been. We have to use what? Been. Here there is no differentiation of persons, first person, second person, third person, singular, plural, nothing is there. Always we have to use what? Head, then been, then third form of the verb will be there in the question, we have to use third form of the verb, then preposition, then subject will go in place of object. Once more I am telling, object will come in place of subject, then head, HAD head, then been, BEEN been, then third form of the verb, then by, that is preposition, then subject will go in place of object. Finished. If we follow, then it is nothing. We had eaten rice. This is a sentence of past perfect because we got had and third form of the verb eat is eaten. So this is a sentence of past perfect tense. Now we have to change the voice. What to do? We have to bring object in place of subject. Before that we have to find out three things: subject, verb and object. Which one is subject? We are telling about we, that's why it is subject. Action word is what? Eat. And so here verb is what? Had eaten, and the action of the subject is falling on whom? Rice. So this is the object. So what to do? We have to bring object in place of subject. So rice is the object, we are bringing it in place of subject, rice. Then I said what? We have to use had, rice, had. Then for passive voice we have to use what? Been, rice, had been. Third form of the verb as it is given, rice had been eaten, then by, then subject will come in place of object. Subject is what? We. It will become what? Us. Rice had been eaten by us. Simple. Simple or not? Very simple it is. Just what to do? We have to follow the rules. I hope you have noted the rules down. If you don't note these things down in your copy, then you cannot do. And I have not written the rules on the blackboard because I told you the rules. I gave you the rules several times in earlier classes. So I don't want to write the rules once more. If you don't have the rules in your copy, so now when I say, you note these things down. One more example of past perfect tense. The teacher had finished the syllabus. The teacher had finished the syllabus. So this is a sentence of past perfect tense. How have we understood? Because had is there and third form of the verb is there. So simply we can understand this is a sentence of past perfect tense. So now we have to change the voice. What to do? We have to find out three things: subject, verb and object. So we are telling about the teacher. So this is the subject, the teacher. Then the action word is what? Finished. So here verb is had finished, and on whom the action of the teacher is falling? The syllabus. This is the object. So we have found out three things. Now nothing. It has become easier for us, it has become the easiest thing for us to change the voice because we got all the three things: subject, verb and object. So what to do? We have to bring object in place of subject. Object is what? The syllabus. The syllabus. Then what to use? I told you what to use: had. Then as it is perfect tense, that's why you have to use what? Been. The syllabus had been. Then third form of the verb, finished. Then by. Then the subject will come in place of object. It will not change because it is not I, we, he, him or they. So it will be the teacher. Finished. Is it a tough thing? No, very simple. Very simple. If we know the rules, it is nothing. So I hope you have understood how to change voice of past perfect tense. Next we are proceeding towards future indefinite, as we cannot change the voice of past perfect continuous tense. That's why we are proceeding towards future indefinite. Future indefinite, how can we understand a sentence of future indefinite? If we get shall or will in the sentence and then first form of the verb, first form, verb 1, this is future indefinite. Subject plus shall or will plus verb 1, this is what? Future indefinite. If we get a sentence of future indefinite tense, then what to do for changing voice? We have to identify three things first: subject, verb and object. Then after identifying these three things, what to do? Listen very carefully. We have to bring object in place of subject. Then according to the new subject, we have to use shall or will. Then we have to use what? Be. Then we have to use what? Be. B-E, be. Then third form of the verb, then preposition, then subject will be placed in place of object. So object will come in place of subject. According to the new subject, we have to use shall or will, then be, then third form of the verb, then preposition, then subject will go in place of object. If we get anything extra after this subject, verb and object, then we are not to do anything with that extra word. We have to deal with these three things only: subject, verb and object. Let's try a sentence. She will help her friend. She will help her friend. This is a sentence of future indefinite. How have we understood? Because will is there and then present form of the verb is given. That's why we have understood this is a sentence of future indefinite. Now for changing voice, what to do? We have to find out three things: subject, verb and object. If it is there, then only we can change the voice. Yes, here subject is what we are telling about she. This is the subject. Action what is what? Help. So here the verb will be what? Will help. Then object, that means the action of the subject is falling on whom? Her friend. This is the object. So we got three things. Now it has become easier for us to change the voice. What to do? We have to bring object in place of subject, her, friend. Then we have to use shall or will. So this is third person singular number. We have to use what? Will. Then according to the rule, what to do? We have to use be. Then what? Third form of the verb. Verb is what? Help. Third form of the verb is what? Helped. Her friend will be helped by. Then subject will go in place of object. Subject is she. It will be what? Her. Her friend will be helped by her. Simple or not? Next sentence. One more sentence we'll try from future indefinite. Some tough things are also there. Don't think that these are so easy. So tenses, according to tenses I am discussing, no. That's why it is very easy. But whatever sentence we will discuss, everywhere we have to follow these rules. Next sentence is what? We shall pluck the flowers. We shall pluck the flowers. So this sentence, this is a sentence of future indefinite. How have we understood? Shall is there, then present form of the verb is given. So we have understood this is a sentence of future indefinite. Now we have to find out three things: subject, verb and object. We are discussing about we, so that's why it is subject. Verb is what? Pluck. So here future indefinite verb will be what? Shall pluck. And the action of the subject is falling on whom? The flowers. This is the object. So we found three things: subject, verb and object. Now what to do? We have to follow the rules. We have to bring object in place of subject. Object is what? The flowers. The flowers. Then we have to use what? Shall or will. This is third person plural number. We have to use what? Will. Then we have to use what? Be. Future indefinite tense rule says us after shall or will we have to use be. The flowers will be. Third form of the verb pluck is what? Plucked. The flowers will be plucked. Then preposition by. Then we will become what? Us. The flowers will be plucked by us. Finished. This is all about future indefinite tense. Next tense is what? Future continuous. How to identify a sentence of future continuous? For that, no, we have to know the formation. We know the formation. What is the formation of future continuous tense? Subject plus shall be or will be plus verb ing. If we get subject, then shall be or will be, then verb ing, then we have to understand that this is a sentence of future continuous tense. After understanding a sentence as future continuous tense, we have to find out three things: subject, verb and object. After finding the subject, verb and object, we have to follow the rules. What are the rules? Rules tells us we have to bring object in place of subject. Then according to the new subject, we have to use shall be or will be. Then as it is continuous tense, that's why we have to use being. Then third form of the verb, then preposition, then subject will go in place of object. Once more I am telling, object will come in place of subject, then according to the new subject shall be or will be, then continuous tense, that's why being, then third form of the verb, then preposition, mostly by, then subject will go in place of object. Let's practice. She will be reciting poems by this time tomorrow. She will be reciting poems by this time tomorrow. So we have understood this is a sentence of future continuous. How have we understood? Because will be is there and verb ing, future continuous tense. Now we are asked to change the voice of this sentence. Then we have to find out three things: subject, verb and object. What is the subject? We are telling about she, that's why she is the subject. Verb is what? Recite. So here the verb will be what? Will be reciting. Then the action of the subject is falling on whom? Poem. So this is the object, and this is extra thing. We are not to do anything with that. It will remain same as it is. We have to deal with subject, verb and object only. Now we have to follow the rules. What to do? We have to bring object in place of subjects, poems. Then we have to use shall be or will be, poems, third person plural number. We have to use what? Will be, poems will be. As it is future continuous tense, we have to use what? Being. Poems will be being. Third form of the verb, recite is what? Recited. By preposition, then subject is what? She. It will become what? Her. Poems will be being recited by her, and the remaining part will remain same as it is. By this time tomorrow. By this time tomorrow. We are not to do anything with it because we have to deal with the three things only: subject, verb and object. So this is the answer of this. Poems will be being recited by her by this time tomorrow. This is the preposition we have used, and this is what? By this time tomorrow. This is a phrase to understand as it is future continuous tense. So we are not to do anything with this. We have to deal with these three things only. One more example we can practice for future continuous tense. I hope you are understanding me. If you follow the rules, what I say, this is nothing. Changing voice is nothing. It's the easiest of all the topics in English grammar. The teacher will be teaching the same lesson. The teacher will be teaching the same lesson. So we have understood this is a sentence of future continuous tense. How? Because will be is there and verb ing is there. So we have understood this is a sentence of future continuous tense. Now we have to find out three things: subject, verb and object. We are telling about the teacher, so this is the subject. Verb is what? Teach. So here as it is future continuous tense, so verb will be what? Will be teaching. Then the object action of the subject is falling on whom? The same lesson. This is the object. So we found three things: subject, verb and object. Now it is nothing for us to change the voice. We have to bring object in place of subject. What is the object? The same lesson. The same lesson. Then we have to use what? Shall be or will be. It is third person singular number, that's why it will be will be. Then continuous tense, that's why being. Then third form of the verb, teach is what? Taught. T-A-U-G-H-T, taught. It is not thought, it is taught. The same lesson will be being taught. Taught. Then preposition by. Then subject will come in place of object, the teacher. It will not change because it is not I, we, he, she or they. It will remain same. The same lesson will be being taught by the teacher. Finished. Simple. Not to worry about this. Next is what? Future perfect tense. How to identify a sentence of future perfect tense, we will get what? Shall have or will have, and third form of the verb in this sentence. If we get shall have or will have and then third form of the verb in the sentence, then we have to understand the sentence is of future perfect tense. If we get a sentence of future perfect tense, then how to change the voice of this sentence? What to do? We have to understand the sentence as the sentence whether it is of future perfect or not. How can we understand? If we get shall have or will have, then third form of the verb, then simply we can understand this is a sentence of future perfect tense. After identifying the sentence as future perfect tense, then we have to identify three things: subject, verb and object. If we can identify subject, verb and object, then we have to follow the rules. What are the rules? You listen. We have to bring object in place of subject. Then according to the new subject, we have to use shall have or will have. Shall have or will have. Then we have to use what? Been. Perfect tense, no, in all perfect tenses we use what? Been. So after using shall have or will have, we have to use what? Been. Then we have to use preposition by, mostly by. Then what? Object will subject will come in place of object, and if we get anything extra, it will remain same. Once more I am telling you the rules. Object will come in place of subject. Then according to the new subject, we have to use shall have or will have. Then we have to use what? Been. Then third form of the verb, it will be there in the as it is perfect tense, then in question also third form of the verb will be used. Then preposition. Then we have to bring subject in place of object. Let's try one or two sentences. They will have finished the work. They will have finished the work. So we have understood that this is a sentence of future perfect because we got will have, then third form of the verb, future perfect tense. Now we have to identify three things: subject, verb and object. About they we are telling, so that's why it is subject, finished is the verb, so it is future perfect tense, that's why will have finished is the verb, and on whom the action of the subject they is falling on the work. So this is the object. So we got three things: subject, verb and object. Now we have to change the voice, we have to follow the rules. We have to bring object in place of subject first, the work. Then we have to use shall have or will have, third person singular number, we have to use will have, the work, will have. Then perfect tense, that's why you have to use what? Been, the work will have been. Then third form of the verb, finished. Third form of the verb, finished. The work will have been finished. Then preposition by, then subject will come in place of object. Subject is what? They, it will become what? Them. The work will have been finished by them. Finished. One more example we can try. She not, let me write shall have something. I shall have done the sum. This is a sentence of future perfect tense. How have we understood? Because shall have is there and third form of the verb is there. So we have understood this is a sentence of future perfect tense. Now we are asked to change the voice of the sentence. That's why you have to find out three things: subject, verb and object. We are telling about I, that's why it is subject. So verb is what? Done, as it is present future perfect tense. So shall have done is the verb, and then the object is what? On whom the action of the subject is falling on the sum. So this is the object. We found three things: subject, verb and object. Now we have to follow the rules of future perfect tense. What to do? We have to bring object in place of subject, the sum. Then we have to use shall have or will have. It is third person singular number, that's why will have, the sum will have. Then we have to use what? Been, the sum will have been. And third form of the verb, done, sum will have been done. Then preposition by. Then subject will come in place of object. Subject is I, it will be what? Me. The sum will have been done by me. Finished. This is the rules according to the tenses. This is the rules according to the tenses, and we have done all in assertive form. All in assertive form. I hope it is clear and you have understood. Now next we are going to interrogative sentence. These things will be followed in all the sentences. Interrogative sentence. One thing I want to make clear that In voice, no, interrogative remains interrogative, but in narration, interrogative becomes what? Assertive. But today we are doing what? Voice. Be careful. In voice change, interrogative remains what? Interrogative. So interrogative sentence, simply we can identify if question mark is there at the end of the sentence, it will be interrogative sentence. So interrogative sentences we can classify, or we can divide interrogative sentence into two parts. One is what? Yes no type question, yes no type interrogative. Another one is what? WH type interrogative. Yes no type interrogative means what? The question for which we can answer in yes or no. This is what? Yes no type interrogative. And the question for which we cannot answer in yes or no, that means we are to give an information, we have to answer in long. This is what? WH type interrogative. So separate rules are there for these two types of interrogative sentence. First we will discuss about yes no type interrogative. So yes no type interrogative, to identify yes no type interrogative, what to do? We have to see whether the question is asked with the help of auxiliary verb or not. If the question is asked with the help of auxiliary verb, then we have to make sure that this is what? Yes no type interrogative. When we get a sentence of yes no type interrogative, then what to do? First of all, we have to make it assertive in our mind or in separate place. If we practice it twice or thrice, then you are not to write it in separate place, it will come to your mind naturally. If you do not practice, then it will not come. Every time you have to do it in rough place. What to do? First of all, we have to make it assertive. After making it assertive, we have to change the voice of that according to the rule of assertive sentence. Then after changing the voice, we have to bring the auxiliary verb first. It will become the interrogative of this sentence. Very simple it is. One more thing here I want to tell you. If we get auxiliary verb do, did or does, then how to make it assertive? Several times I said, once more I am telling. If we get do in the sentence, then what to do? We have to omit do. It will become assertive. If we get did in the sentence, then we have to omit did and we have to use the second form of the verb. It will become assertive. And if we get does, then we have to omit does and we have to add s or yes with the verb. Then it will become assertive. Rule says us what to do. At first, we have to make the sentence assertive. We have to make the sentence assertive. After making the sentence assertive, we have to change the voice of this assertive sentence. When we will get the answer of this assertive sentence, after getting the answer, we will get an auxiliary verb in the sentence. We have to bring the auxiliary verb at the beginning of the sentence and it will become the answer of or the passive voice of the interrogative sentence given in the question. I hope it is clear. If we practice, then it will be more clear. Are you playing football? Are you playing football? Are you playing football? This is an interrogative sentence. What type of interrogative it is? Yes no type interrogative, because we got what? Auxiliary verb at the beginning of the sentence. Are is the auxiliary verb. We got auxiliary verb at the beginning of the sentence. That's why we have understood this. This is a sentence of interrogative sentence. Yes no type interrogative. Now we have to make it assertive. You make it assertive in your brain, in your mind. If you cannot, then you have to write it in rough place. I am making. What to do? You have to bring subject first, then auxiliary verb. So subject is what? You. If we bring you at the beginning, then are. You are playing football. This is the assertive form. You are playing football. This is the assertive form. Now we have to change the voice of this. You are playing football. You are playing football. This is a sentence of present continuous tense. How to change? Football. Third one, singular number is continuous tense. Being, then played. According to earlier rule, football is being played, then by you. Football is being played by you. This is the answer of the assertive form of this sentence. After doing the answer of the assertive form of this sentence, we have to find out the auxiliary verb in the sentence. And after finding the auxiliary verb, we have to bring the auxiliary verb at the beginning. Then it will become the question. It will become interrogative sentence. So here the auxiliary verb is what? Is. So we have to bring it first. Is football, we have taken this one out and rest others will remain same. Is football being played by you? It has become question. This is the answer of this question. This is the question. This is the answer. This we have done to understand. Is football being played by you? Question mark. I said you one thing. Once again I am telling, in voice change interrogative remains interrogative. What we did at first, when we get question, then we have to understand this is yes no type question or not. If it is yes no type question, then we have to make it assertive. After making assertive, what to do? We have to change the voice of this assertive sentence, and after changing the voice of this assertive sentence from the answer, we have to take out the auxiliary verb and we have to put it at the beginning of the sentence. Then the remaining sentence will be written as same and it will become a question. So we did it. Are you playing football? Assertive is what? You are playing football. We changed the voice of you are playing football. Answer we got what? Football is being played by you. And in this sentence we got what? Auxiliary verb is. That's why you have taken is at the beginning of the sentence and rest part are same. Is football being played by you? This is the answer. One more example we can try, having do, did or does. Let's try. Did you, did you do it yesterday? Did you do it yesterday? This is a question, yes no type question or not? Yes, it is yes no type question because did is there. Did is an auxiliary verb. So we understood this is a question and question is yes no type question. So for that what to do? I told you if we get a yes no type question then we have to make it assertive first. So this also I told you, if we get do, did or does, how to make it assertive. If we get did in a sentence then we have to omit it and we have to use the second form of the verb, it will become assertive. So now did you do it yesterday? It is interrogative sentence. If we want to make it assertive then what it will be? You did it yesterday. We have to omit did and we have to use the second form of the verb. So you did it yesterday. We got the assertive form. You did it yesterday. It is a sentence of past indefinite tense. We have to follow the rules of past indefinite tense that I said earlier. So now we have to follow the rules of past indefinite tense. So you did it yesterday. It is the object. It was done. As it is the rule of past indefinite tense, object, then was or were, then third form of the verb. It was done by you yesterday. It was done by you yesterday. This is the answer of assertive form. This is the answer of assertive form. But our question is what? Interrogative. But our question is what? Interrogative. That's why we have to make it interrogative. We have to find out the auxiliary verb from the sentence. So which one is the auxiliary verb? Was is the auxiliary verb. We have to bring it first. Was. Then the remaining part will remain same. Was it done by you yesterday? Finished. Question mark. Simple or not? Yes, it is very simple. Just what to do? We have to follow 3 steps. What? First of all, we have to make it assertive. Then we have to change the voice of the assertive form. Then we have to make it interrogative, taking the auxiliary verb at the beginning. Do you want me to do one more example? Yes, let us do one more example. Have you done your homework? Have you done your homework? Question mark, interrogative sentence. Okay, what type of interrogative it is? Yes no type interrogative because auxiliary verb is there at the beginning. We have understood this is a sentence of yes no type question. Now we have to make it assertive first to change the voice. What it will be? You have have you done your homework? You have done your homework. You have done your homework. Assertive is what? You have done your homework. Now we have to change the voice of this. You have done your homework. You have done your homework. This is a sentence of present perfect tense because have we got and third form of the verb we got. We have to follow the rules of present perfect tense. So what to do? Object will come in place of subject. The homework. It is third person singular number. That's why has. The homework not. It is your homework. Sorry. Object as it is you have to write. Your homework, then it is third person singular number. See, your work I have written. Making a lot of mistakes, no? Your homework. Present perfect tense. Subject is third person singular number. That's why it will be has. Your homework has. Then been. As it is present perfect tense, you have to use what? Been. Your homework has been done by you. This is the passive voice of the assertive form of this sentence. Now we have done it. We have to find out the auxiliary verb and we have to bring it first. So which one is the auxiliary verb? Yes, here we got. This is the auxiliary verb. We have to bring it first. Has. Then the rest part will remain same. Has your homework work has already written, that's why you are not to write it again. Has your homework been done by you? Finished. Simple or not? Very simple. We have to follow the steps only. Steps are known to you, so it is nothing for you. Okay, simply I came and I am just discussing, everything is known to you. Next is what? WH type question. WH type question, how can we identify? Very simply, we can identify question, we can identify by question mark. And WH type question, that means the sentence will be, the question will be asked with the help of word having WH. If we get a WH type question, then what to do? It is a bit tougher. What are you doing? What are you doing? This is a question. We have to change the voice of this sentence. To change the voice of WH type question, what to do? The word what is used, very carefully you listen. The word what is used for asking the question, we have to use this one in its own place. What? Okay. Then we have to see which tense. This is present continuous tense. Are verb ing present continuous tense or not? Yes, present continuous tense. That's why we have to use what? Being. Present continuous, present tense, that's why is. Continuous tense, that's why being. Then third form of the verb, then it will become easy. Then third form of the verb, do is what? Done. What is being done by, subject is what? You. It will come in place of object. What is being done by you. Very simple. Once more you listen. The word what is used at the beginning of the sentence, we have to write it as it is. Then according to the tense, we have to use am, is, are, was, were, shall be, will be. Then according to the tense, we have to use being. If it is necessary, continuous tense being, then perfect tense been, anything. Then third form of the verb, then preposition, then subject will come in place of object. If we practice one more, then it will be easier for you. What? Everything, every time what, why. Okay. Which pen do you like? This is a WH type question because the question is asked with the help of word having WH. This is a WH type question. We have to change the voice of this. So you have to put which. And before auxiliary verb, no, what are you doing? Earlier in sentence before auxiliary verb we got what? Only what. That's why we wrote what. Here auxiliary verb is what. Before auxiliary verb whatever is there you have to write which pen. Auxiliary verb is do. So before that the part whatever will be there with WH type word we have to write it which pen. Then you see this is a sentence of which tense, future or past or present. This is a sentence of present tense. Do is present, did is the past, and shall will denote this is future. This is present tense. That's why you have to use what is, which pen is. Then third form of the verb like is what, liked, which pen is liked. Then preposition by, then subject will come in place of object, which pen is liked by you. Okay, I hope it is clear. Then if the question is asked with the help of who, then what to do? Who did the work? Who did the work? If we get a sentence having who at the beginning, then what to do? How to change the voice of this sentence? If we get who, then in place of who we have to use what? By whom. This is universal. We have to use what? By whom. After using by whom, you have to see which tense the sentence is. The sentence is in past indefinite tense. How have we understood? Because the second form of the verb is used. That's why you have to use what? Was. In past indefinite, what we use? Was or were. By whom was. Then the object is what? The work. By whom was the work. Then third form of the verb, done. Do, did, done. Here once again we are not to write by because already at the beginning we have used by. Okay. One more example we can do. So once more I am telling. If we get a question having who, then for changing voice what to do? We have to use by whom first. Then according to the tense we have to use am, is, are, was, were, shall be, will be. Then the object. Then the third form of the verb. Finished. Object not. Then the subject. Then the third form of the verb. Okay. One more example we can do. Who has stolen my umbrella? So who is there? Nothing to think. We have to write by whom first. By whom. Now stop. We have to see which tense it is. It is present perfect tense. By whom, then has, then the object, then the subject. By whom has my umbrella. As it is present perfect tense, that's why you have to use what? Been after subject. By whom has my umbrella been stolen? By whom has my umbrella been stolen? Question mark. If you want me to do one more of this sentence, we can do one more. But before that, I am telling you once more what to do. If we get who, then in place of who, we have to use what? By whom. Then according to the tense, we have to use have, has, am, is, are, was, were. Then object, then subject, then if it is perfect tense, then been. If it is continuous tense, then being. Then in rest of that sense, we are not to write anything. Then the third form of the verb, then question mark. Once more, by no need to write because by is there at the beginning. Let's try one more. 3 examples we are trying. Okay. I told you earlier also, you buy one question bank. In question bank, thousands of questions you will get. Thousands, not hundreds of questions you will get, and you can solve this. Who will do the work? Who is there? Then it will be what? By whom. Future tense, that's why will. Subject is what? The work. By whom will the work? Then as it is future tense, after subject we have to use what? Be. By whom will the work be? Third form of the verb, done. Question mark. By whom will the work be done? Finished. Okay. Now if we get a sentence having whom, if we get a sentence having whom at the beginning, then what to do? In active voice, if we get a sentence having whom at the beginning, then what to do? Let's try. Let's see. If we get whom do you want? Okay. If we get whom in active voice, then what to do? In place of whom, we have to use what? Who. Be careful. If we get who, then while changing voice, we have to write what? By whom. And if in active voice, if we get whom, then we have to use what? Who. By whom, who. And only whom, who. Whom is there, that's why you have to use what? Who. Then according to the tense, we have to use am, is, are, was, were, shall, will. So this is what? Present tense, that's why is, who is. Third form of the verb want is what? Wanted. Who is wanted. Then by, subject is what? You. In place of object, it will become it will remain same. Who is wanted by you. Here once again we have written by because at the beginning by is not there. In earlier sentence we have not written because at the beginning by was there. If we get whom in active voice, then in place of whom we have to use what? Who. Then according to the tenses we have to use am, is, are, was, were, shall, will. Then third form of the verb, then preposition, then subject will go in place of object. One more example we can try. Whom will you call tonight? Whom will you call tonight? So in place of whom we have to write what? Who. It is future tense, that's why will. Be. Future indefinite tense, subject plus shall be, will be. That's in passive voice shall be, will be. We have written will be. Third form of the verb called. By preposition, then subject will come in place of object. You, who will be called by you tonight. Finished. If we get whom, then who. Then remaining part we have to do according to the assertive form. Will you call? You will call. Then who will be? Who will. Future tense, that's why be. Third form of the verb called. Preposition by. Then subject will come in place of object. The remaining part will remain same. Who will be called by you tonight? I hope this is clear. Now next we have to go to imperative sentence. Imperative sentence, which what is imperative sentence? The sentence that denotes us, that means that make us understand about any order, advice, request. Order, advice, request. If we get any of these, then we have to understand this is imperative sentence. If we do not understand the meaning, then how can we understand? Simply we can understand a sentence if the sentence starts with verb. If the sentence starts with verb or please, if the sentence starts with verb or please, then we have to understand this is a sentence of imperative sentence. If we get an imperative sentence, then how to change the voice? According to the meaning of the sentence, we have to write you are ordered. If it is order, then you are ordered to. If it is advice, then you are advised to. If it is request, then you are requested to. For that, now we have to think two things. In some cases, imperative sentence, in some cases what will happen? We will get object, and in some cases we will not get object. If we get object, then what to do? We have to follow this rule. Let plus object plus be plus verb 3. This is the formation of passive voice of imperative sentence. Passive voice of imperative sentence having object, having passive voice of imperative sentence, imperative with object. If we get imperative sentence with object, then we have to follow this formation. Let, then object, then be, then verb 3. Let's write. Close the door. Close the door. This is a sentence of imperative. How have we understood? Because the sentence started with verb. Close the door. Now you see whether the object is there or not. Yes, object. In imperative sentence always subject is silent. You close the door. So what to close? The door. This is the object. Object is there. That's why you have to follow this rule. So first of all, what to write? Let, then the object. For rules or the formation says us we have to use what? Object. Let the door. Then what? Be, then verb 3. Verb is what? Close, closed. Let the door be closed. Let the door be closed. Let plus object plus be plus verb 3. If we get a sentence of imperative sentence having what? Object. If we do not get object in the sentence, then we have to do it another way. One more example. Tell him to go. This is an imperative sentence having object. Object is there or not? Yes, object is there. Whom you have to tell? Him. This is the object. So this is the extra part. We are not to think about that. So what to do? We have to write let, then object, let him, then be. Rule formation says us we have to write what? Be, let him be. Third form of the verb told. This much finished. Let him be told, and remaining part will remain same. Let him be told to go. Finished. Tell him to go, let him be told to go. So if we get imperative sentence having what? Object, we have to follow this rule. Let plus object plus be plus verb 3. Finished. Now if we do not get object in the sentence, imperative sentence we got, and there is no object, then what to do? According to the meaning, we have to use what? You are ordered to, you are advised to, you are requested to, anything. You see a sentence, simply come here. Come here. If we are asked to change the voice of this sentence, then there is no object in the sentence, then what to do? We have to use the, according to the meaning of the sentence, we have to use a part. If it is order, then you are ordered to. So you are ordered to come here. Finished. Why? Because there is no object, that's why you have not used what? Let. One more example. Write neatly or nicely. Write nicely. What to write? Nothing. How to write it is nicely. This is not the object. Write nicely. So this is an advice. We can write you are advised. You are advised to write nicely. Finished. You are advised to write nicely. Once more I am telling, if you do not get object in imperative sentence, then what to do? We have to use you are ordered to, you are advised to, you are requested to according to the meaning of the sentence. Then the remaining part or then the question how it is, it will remain same. One more example of this type. Please help me. Here object is there. Then also we are not to go towards that because please is there. Please means request. So you can write you are requested to help me. You are requested to help me. Finished. And if we get imperative sentence negative form, if we get imperative sentence negative form, don't close the door. Here there is object, here there is object, so we have to follow the formation. Let plus object, let plus object plus not plus be plus verb 3. If we get imperative sentence having object in negative form, imperative sentence having object in negative form, then we have to follow this formation. Let plus object plus not plus be plus verb 3. Let's see. So let, this is the question, let object is what? The door. Let the door not be closed. Let the door not be closed. If we do not get object in the sentence, that means imperative sentence, negative sense, but there is no object in the sentence. Without object, imperative sentence without object, negative sense. How to do? Don't run, or don't run in the sun. Don't run in the sun. How to change? You are ordered, in place of to we have to use not to. So this is order. You are ordered, as it is negative, that's why in place of to it will be what? Not to. You are ordered not to run. Remaining part will remain same. Not to run in the sun. Finished. Very simple. Simple or not? Yes, very easy it is. I hope you have understood. Practice it again and again, otherwise you will forget. If you practice, then you find it easier. And if you face any problem, you can watch the video again and again, and then also if you face any problem, you can ask me. Now some exceptional things I am going to tell you. If a sentence has been given to you having it is time, it is time to start the work, then how to do? You write the formations how I am giving. This is very important thing. If a sentence is given to you for changing voice having what? It is time, then this is the formation. How to write? It is time plus for plus the for, then the object is time plus to be plus verb 3. This is the formation. If we get a sentence to change the voice having what? It is time, having what? It is time, we have to follow. This is the formation of the sentences having it is time. It is time plus for plus object plus to be plus verb 3. It is time plus for plus object plus to be plus verb 3. Let's practice. This is the formation. No formation you have written. Now you see this is the question and we have to change the voice of this sentence. It is time is there, so it is time. It is time. Then formation tells us to use for. It is time for. The object is what? The work. It is time for the work. Then after that what to use? To be. It is time for the work to be. And third form of the verb is what? Verb is start. It will be what? Started. It is time for the work to be started. So formation tells us it is time, then for, then object, then to be, then third form of the verb. One more example we can try. Formation you have to keep in your mind. If we forget the formation, then we can't do anything. This is very easy if we know the formation, and it becomes impossible for us if we do not know the formation. One more example. It is time to stop the war. It is time to stop the war. Okay, formation tells us we have to write it is first, it is time first, it is time. Then what to write? Formation tells us to use for, it is time for. Then formation tells us to use the object. Object is what? The war. It is time for the war. Then formation tells us to use to be. It is time for the war to be. Then third form of the verb stop is verb 3. Stop. Third form of the verb is third form of the verb stop is what? Stopped. S-T-O-P-P-E-D. Finished. So formation I gave you. Formation is what? It is time plus for plus object plus to be plus verb 3. Finished. So it is time to stop the war. It is time for the war to be stopped. One more thing. If we get a sentence of active voice having let, then what to do? Let him do the work. Let him do the work. Simply seeing let, we do not think that this is a sentence of passive voice. Okay? If we get let, so simply we do not understand that the sentence is of passive voice. We have to see the verb of the sentence. If it is in passive voice, then third form of the verb will be there. After getting let, if we do not get the passive voice of the verb, then we have to understand this is a sentence of active voice. So how to change the voice of the sentences, active voice sentences having let. So this is the formation you write. Let plus object then be, then verb 3, then preposition, then subject. Subject will come in place of object. Okay, subject, this is in place of object it will be. So this is what let him do the work. This is the formation. Let him do the work. This is the active voice because we got do here. So we have to follow this formation. Let, object is what? The work. Let the work be. Third form of the verb do is what? Done by him. Let the work done by him. If we get active voice having let, we have to follow this formation. Let plus object plus be plus verb 3 plus by plus subject. Finished. Now I am going to tell you where to use by, and some other prepositions are also there where to use these things. Mostly we use what? By. If the verb is no, then we have to use preposition to in place of by. We have to use what? To. The verb is no, then we have to use what? To. If the verb is contain, then we have to use in. You write this one in your copy. If the verb is no, then to, in place of by preposition you have to use to. If the verb is contain, then in place of by preposition you have to use in. If the verb is please, amaze, shock, surprise, vex, annoy, astonish, then we can use two preposition, at and with. At non-living, at non-living, and with, this marker is not clear, so with living. See, if the word is please, I hope you are getting it. If the word is please, verb is please, or amaze, A-M-A-Z-E, amaze, or shock, S-H-O-C-K, shock, or surprise, or vex, or annoy, or astonish, then in place of by preposition, if the object is non-living, then at, if the object is living, then with. I hope you have written this one, you write this one, then I will give you some examples. If the verb is no, then to. If the verb is contain, then in. If the verb is from this, then we have to see the object. If the object is non-living, then at. If the object is living, then with. Let's practice. He knows me. Present tense, present indefinite tense, S is there, me will become I. Present tense, that's why am. Then third form of the verb is what? Known. Then in place of by preposition we have to use what? To, because verb is know. I am known to him. Another question. She knew Mr. Barua. She knew Mr. Barua. So this is past indefinite tense. What to do? Mr. Barua. Mr. Barua. Past tense, that's why was. Third form of the verb known. And in place of preposition by, it will be what? To, because verb is what? No. Mr. Barua was known to her. Okay, I hope you have understood the use of to. Next, another example. Your behavior, B-E-H-A-V-I-O-U-R, behavior pleases me. Okay, your behavior pleases me. So here the verb is please, we have to use at or with in place of by preposition. So here the object is me, it will become what? I. Pleases, present indefinite tense, am. I am. Third form of the verb pleased. Then object, it is, object is what? Your behavior. This is non-living thing, that's why it will be at. Your behavior, I am pleased at your behavior. Pleased at your behavior. Okay, or if you write you shocked me. Another example, you shocked me. You shocked everyone. You shocked everyone. Now we have to change the voice of this sentence. This is past tense and verb is what? Shock. We have to use at or with. Everyone is the object. Everyone was, singular number one, that's why was, everyone was shocked. Third form of the verb shocked. Then at or with we cannot use by because verb is shocked, and before using at or with we have to see the object. Here this is the object you, this is living thing, that's why it will be what? Everyone was shocked with you. Finished. I hope you have understood the voice, how to change from active to passive, and where to use by, where to use to, where to use at, and where to use in. And then when we have changed a sentence from active to passive, Now if we are asked to change the sentence from passive to active, then it becomes easier for us. Only one example or only one sentence will try. Class is becoming so long, it will be boring for you. That's why I'll try only one sentence. Football is liked by me. This is a sentence of passive voice. You understood or not? Yes, we have understood. This is a sentence of passive voice because is there, third form of the verb is there. This is a sentence of passive voice. Okay, which tense it is? It is there, and third form of the verb being, been, nothing is there. So we have understood this is a sentence of present indefinite tense. So present indefinite tense, how to write? Subject plus verb 1 plus object. We have to identify the tense of the sentence first. So we have understood this is a sentence of present indefinite because is there. And if it is present continuous, then being should be there. If it is present perfect, then has been. If it is past indefinite, then was. If it is past continuous, then was being or were being. If it is past perfect, then had been. If it is future, then shall be, will be. So nothing is there. Simply we have understood this is what present indefinite tense because simply is there. So present indefinite tense formation we know subject plus verb 1 plus object. So we know that in passive voice we bring subject in place of object. So here this is the object and we have brought this one from the place of subject. So it is me, it will become what? I. Okay, then we have to use the present form of the verb. Verb is what? Like. Present form is what? Like. I like. Then the object football. I like football. Let me show you one more example from past continuous tense. Then I'll conclude my class. The food was being cooked by Sita. The food was being cooked by Sita. This is a passive voice we got because was we got, being we got, third form of the verb we got. Passive voice we understood. Now which passive voice of which tense? Past tense. From was we understood, then from being we understood. This is a sentence of past continuous tense. Okay, past continuous formation we know subject plus was or were plus verb ing simply. So here we brought in passive voice we brought subject in place of object. The object is what? Shita. It will go in place of subject Shita. Then past continuous tense, that's why was or were. Shita singular number was. Then verb ing. Verb is what? Cook ing. Shita was cooking. Then object. Object is what? Food. Cooking the food. Shita was cooking the food. Finished. This is all about how to change passive to active. If we know how to change active to passive, then it will be easier for us to change a sentence from passive to active. I hope you have understood whatever I have discussed. Elaborately I have discussed, very slowly I have discussed. I hope you have understood. Then also if you face any problem, feel free to contact me at night from 8 to 10 p.m. I will be there to reply you. And one more thing important I have to tell you, you practice these things at home regularly. If you do not practice, then you will forget it. With that I am going to conclude my class. Thank you once again.